Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. It's your boy D Black coming to you with the Clash in Italy review. All right, Clash in Italy, it was what it delivered. I mean, it was a pretty good show from start to ending. I mean, they put on, as they would say, a banger. Tonight was very impressive and it was very good. And I liked it. No matter what anybody says, I thought tonight was a real good show. Real good show. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, Gunther and Cody Rhodes. This match was what I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was cool. I mean, they went back and forth, back and forth. Gunther kicks out of a pedigree that Cody Rhodes put him in, and Cody kicks out, of a power bomb and stuff, and then Gunther, he kicks out of crossroads. I mean, it was some false finishes and everything. I mean, this match was down went down to the wire just like I thought it would and stuff, and just like on my video that I did as far as my predictions. Again, predicted everything right, all the matches right. So, but this match right here kind of ended in some controversy, and I saw it as the pin happened and everything when Cody crossroads Gunther, and his leg was outside the ring. And as the referee started counting, you can see on the third count that the leg was inside and stuff. So, is it a controversial call? Maybe. Did Cody get the win? Yes, because whatever the referee goes, whatever the referee does, and how it ends, it's just the referee's decision. Gunther even tried to argue his point and stuff, but no. So, I know tomorrow afternoon, well, maybe next Friday on SmackDown, we're going to hear about it and stuff. So we're going to hear about that call and everything. So I'm thinking that we're going to see Gunther and Cody back at it again. Which PLE, I have no idea. It could be um, Night of Champions or it could be at SummerSlam. Don't know. Just have to wait and see. But all in all, it was a pretty good match. And then we get to Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. I'm telling you, Jade Cargill did her thing. She wrestled in this match, and Rhea, she did her thing in it too. I'm more impressed about Jade because everybody keeps saying Jade is not an in-ring performer, but she showed out today. It was a real, real, real good match between her and Rhea Ripley and stuff. But the crew came down, B Fab and Meech, and they came down. Rhea had Jade for a pin, after after she riptied her, and then BFAP almost messed up the spot by putting Jade's foot on the rope, but as she was doing it, the referee catches her and stuff like that. And then as Rhea gets out of the ring to confront them of the interference and everything, then they turn around. Charlotte Flair hits them both, BFAB and Meechin with the crossbody on the from the barricade and stuff. And then Rhea gets in the ring and stuff, and then they start battling again. And then all of a sudden, um, Jade gets Rhea into a jaded, and then Charlotte, she grabs Rhea's foot and she puts it on the rope and everything. And then now they're arguing, the referee, and Jade gets up arguing with Charlotte and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, Rhea catches Jade gets to put her into a riptide, and she beats Jade 1, 2, 3 and retains as women's champion. I mean, it was a pretty good match too. Um, I just can't lie. Jade did her thing in this match. I mean, she was doing some really good moves and stuff. So she's actually improved inside the ring. So I look more for Jade. Did this loss hurt her? I don't think so. And stuff, I don't think so, because it just makes her might move on because now she's in Queen of the Ring, but she won that already. So I don't think they're going to give that to her two times in a row and stuff. But somehow I think way down the road, Jade and Liv are going to meet each other, and Jade is going to beat Liv Morgan, which could set up her for a title reign. So we'll see what happens in the tournament. and stuff and how it goes, and we'll see. And then we get the match with Brock Lesnar and over FEMI. My. At the start, Brock, jumps on over and he hits him with four F5s. And then, over kicks out and stuff, And then Brock gets him in the Kimura lock, and then over gets up, stands up in the Kimura lock, and then he drops then he drops Brock Lesnar on his back and over kicks out, of another F5. you know. And in this match, Brock was hitting him with these F5s, man, and Over was kicking out. But the one F5 that really blew my mind was the F5 outside the ring when Brock Lesnar picks Over up and F5s him on the announcer's table and stuff. And then as Brock got into the ring, Over jumped up, I think it was on number 7 or 8 or 5, something like that. And then Over just jumps up like nothing happened. Then Over goes into the ring. He gets doggone Brock into a fall from grace. But Brock, jumps over that and everything. He picks Over up. He hits him with another F5. Man, and he gets the win. I believe there was like 7 F5s that overtook. But this was a good match. Both of them big guys really moved it in the ring. It was a pretty solid match. It was everything that I thought it was going to be. So now they're both 1-1 and everything. So this sets them up for the final match. And I believe in that final match, it's either going to be Night of Champions or it can be for SummerSlam. And I think it might be at SummerSlam, since it's a 2-night event, kind of their mid kind of WrestleMania thing. But anyway, it should be a good number 3 and stuff. And then at that point, Over wins that match, and then Brock probably goes ahead and finishes up and retires. I think he wants to make it to SummerSlam for that, and then it's over and stuff. So then we move on to the match with Ruka and Becky Lynch. This match was pretty good. Becky Lynch spent her time, too much time arguing with Jessica, as far as the referees. Jessica called the referee and stuff, And at one point in the match, while the match was going on, Becky had rolled up, so Ruka and everything, but Jessica Carr, the referee, had jumped out of the ring, I guess out of the way of a move and stuff, and so it took time for her to get in to make the count and everything. And then by the time she got in there, so Ruka was able to kick out of the pin, and then Jessica Carr and Becky started arguing again and stuff like that. And then Becky tries a soul snatcher, and Soul gives her, a manhandle slam out of it. And then Becky gets up, and then she tries something else, and then she gets caught with a soul snatcher and gets snatched. And we have a new women's IC champion in Soul Ruka. So Soul Ruka won that match, and it was a pretty good match, I had to say. And then we get the match, the doggone tribal combat match. Fatu and Roman Reigns. In this match, it delivered. It was everything that I thought it was going to be. For a minute, it kind of was a little bit slow. They did at least get out into the audience, and, panned out in the audience and had, a brawl out there. Then they brought it back to the ring and stuff. It was great. Then they started introducing, the weapons, with the tables and everything. And then Roman Reigns, he grabs a tool bucket. And when he grabs that tool chest, he drops that bad boy over his hand, one that he does the death grip with and everything. And then, Roman decides to beat that hand up, and stuff like that. And then in the ring, Roman starts taking up all the turnbuckles. He took about 3 sides of the turnbuckles and stuff like that. And then he started kneeling Jacob's head into the turnbuckles and stuff. This match was pretty good. They were all over the place. It was everything that I thought it was. It was a knockdown, drag out, and stuff like that, and it was cool and stuff. And then after the 3 hits to the ring, then Roman hits him with a spear. I believe there was a Superman punch involved in that. And then with the spear that ends it all, and he pins Jacob 1, 2, 3. So now we got to wait until tomorrow afternoon on Raw, where Jacob will see if he's going to acknowledge Roman Reigns, you know, as a tribal chief and stuff like that. So it ought to be interesting tomorrow night, on Raw. I mean, I know this is going to be talked about and stuff because it was a great. I have to say it was a pretty good PLE, and for the first one in Italy, like this and stuff. I mean, they turned it out. They delivered. They delivered. And I'm gonna give this whole show probably an 8 out of 10. I mean, it was pretty good. It delivered, and I liked it on my me, just me. I'm not saying anybody else. Everybody else has their own opinion of what's going on, but for me, it was a pretty good show. They delivered and stuff. So with that, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you felt. Let me know if you liked the show. If you didn't like the show, let's talk about it and stuff. So thank you for watching. God bless. Deuces, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.